what would you tell to the people that really want to get into Minerva University?
I think that it's like, so we had like a couple of 15 people drop out. Because it's hard. There's a lot of studying. Like, okay, I'd say that you spend around like at least 7 hours per day studying, and then you have more things to do.
But how was it for you to try to fit into like an international community there? So was it hard?
Honestly, I don't think it was hard.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to the first episode of our podcast, which is Jarak Talk. And today we have a very unique guest from a very unique university, and it's ARUZHAN, which has just recently came back from her first year at Minerva University. Maybe a lot of y'all heard that it's a very untraditional university with its untraditional ways of studying and learning. So today we will get to know you more, and we would love to get to know you more. We're very lucky to have you here today with us.
Thank you so much for inviting
So
me.
yes, so please, at the very beginning, could you tell us more about your major?
Okay, yes. So, as you said, I'm at Minerva University, and I'm going to study for a double major, business and social sciences, and within that, it's economics. In the beginning, I thought about doing business and CS, computer science, but then I quickly realized that I have no passion for CS, and I was like, why would I do something I don't like?
Yeah.
And I actually discovered that I'm interested in behavioral economics. Of why people do things. So I think those two majors will complement each other pretty well when building a startup, a company, or like working in corporations.
Yeah, so it's also kind of linked with psychology, right? Because it's like...
Kind of, yeah. There's like, so in the first year we learned things like prospect theory for why people buy different things, why people take risks. And I found that to be incredibly interesting. So I was like, let me take that path.
Yeah, okay, that's very nice. And what made you pursue this major, like different types of majors? Yeah.
Well, basically, like when I was in high school, I had a lot of experience in management type of things, like event management, coordination, leadership, and I kind of thought that I had the skill set for business. And I was like, oh, I don't want to take just business because a lot of people say that it's pretty easy, and I want something more challenging. And I was like, oh, economics is incredibly fascinating, especially like in the US, in our society, in the economic system of capitalism.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So I was like, let me pursue that.
Yeah, and apart from like about the benefits of the university, about the fact that every year you can change your place of residence, which is very fun, I think, especially for the students. So what other advantages do you think the university has?
Well, definitely that we travel every semester, but also the fact that all of the education is based on cognitive science, on how people learn. So for example, like we're used to universities having lectures for 3 hours, students just sitting in a big crowded area taking notes, right? But at Minerva, it's very different. But first of all, we don't have a campus, so we're using an online platform called Forum, where we take our classes, and all lessons are 90 minutes long. And it's kind of, I don't know, in Kazakhstan they call it like flipped learning, basically where the students talk at the same rate or even more than the professors. So we discuss, we debate, we have a lot of conversations about whatever topic that we've learned because we prepare for each class beforehand. Yeah, so we have, so we already have like the knowledge so we have like a superficial knowledge, and then we kind of get deeper into that during the classes, which reinforces whatever that you've learned and it sticks in your mind.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so fun. So your first year has been where?
It was in San Francisco.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So how was it? Was it your first time ever there? Like, have you been there before?
So I've lived in the US before. My mom got a scholarship from Bolshak for the University of Miami, so we lived there for like 4 years. And then we moved back, and it was a struggle. Like, girl, I had to relearn Kazakh and Russian. I didn't know how to write those languages either. But yeah, like, I guess English stuck with me ever since then. And in San Francisco, we spent a whole year because it's like freshman year, and Minerva is a US-based university.
Yeah.
So we spent the whole year there. And honestly, San Francisco was unlike anything I've seen before, obviously, because it's so diverse.
Yeah.
But also it's considered like the tech hub of the US, where like Silicon Valley, Berkeley, Stanford, they're all, in that same like Bay Area bubble. And generally, I think San Francisco is it's an amazing experience because it's a big city, but you also have people who are so open to talk to you, not even just Minerva, like outside of Minerva. They're so ready to talk to you, they're open, there's a lot of diversity. Whenever you're walking somewhere, you just hear a bunch of different languages, a bunch of different people from different countries, and it's incredible.
Yeah, so you
surrounded by
also
that.
you have mentioned that you don't have the university campus, right? So how is the university vibe? Like, do you have the community though? Like,
Yeah.
is it
So
still there?
basically, the thing is that each Minerva cohort, like the people that you study with in the same year,
Yeah.
it's like max. We have around like 150 people, so it's a very small amount of people, and we live together in a dorm. And we have different types of traditions. For example, like we have 1001s, which is where every Sunday one culture, one group, one country represents their nation with a presentation, with food, I don't know, dances, a performance, and that also builds the community vibe. But also we have a lot of different, we call them experiences. So, for example, like staff-led experiences, where the university hosts a trip to Alcatraz, like the biggest like
Oh
prison,
yeah.
or like we go to the beach all together for a bonfire, or like a pizza party. We have those kind of different experiences pretty often, and you kind of just get to talk to everybody. Like I know everyone by name and like where they're from because it's such a small community.
Oh my God, that's so fun. So you kind of like each city that you go to every year, like you can just form the community. You can find each other kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because we travel together with the
Oh,
cohort.
that's very fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cool. And so we all know that it's a very unique university, but how is it to study there? Is it hard?
Yes. Okay, so if we're counting per day, you have 2 classes per day in your freshman year, and then you have to prepare for the next 2 classes, which is like homework, but the opposite of that, it's called pre-work.
Okay.
And so you have classes for 3 hours. Preparing for other like upcoming classes is also like 3 to 4 hours, and then you have assignments instead of exams. And assignments, obviously, like they take a longer time.
Yeah.
Because with exams, usually you just kind of memorize everything.
Yeah. Do you
and
think
just
that
write
it's
it.
like your majors that are hard, or do you think that it's generally just
Oh,
harder
no,
to study
no.
there?
Right. In the first year, we have like undecided.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
general, yeah. So we're all learning the same things, and it's not like Kazakhstan,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
So basically, the 4 courses that we have is complex systems,
Okay.
formal analysis, empirical analysis, and multimodal communications. And they all have like their core competencies. For example, so we have like the competency of how to think critically, how to think
Yeah.
creatively, how to interact effectively, and how to communicate effectively.
So these classes are given to everyone, like who's like the
Yeah, yeah,
undecided
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's very good.
Yeah,
That's
'cause,
very
like,
beneficial.
freshman year is considered like the brainwashing of Minerva, like in a good way.
Yeah.
We're taught how to analyze things better, how to think more critically, and just kind of how to be more, how to be like more efficient
Yeah.
learners. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's very like needed and very beneficial for everyone, no matter what your major is.
yes,
So just like
definitely.
critical thinking is always needed. And what was your like, what would you tell to the people that really want to get into Minerva University?
I think that is like, so we had like a couple of 15 people drop out because it's hard. There's a lot of studying. Like, okay, I'd say that you spend around like at least 7 hours per day studying, and then you have more things to do like work study, which is like basically your work instead of getting a stipendia. Or like
Yeah.
stipendia, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have to do your groceries. You have to like do adult things, and there's a lot of things to juggle at the same time. So it can be hard for people. But also, some people prefer stability.
Yeah.
We don't have a campus, and we travel every semester to different places, and that's
But by the way, would you like rather have like a university with a campus?
so. That's a funny story. I went to both Berkeley and Stanford universities. When I got there, it's like, don't get me wrong, they're both beautiful campuses.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, I would get so bored here. Like, it's just
The
Stanford.
same, yeah?
It's the same. It's the
Oh.
same people, the same campus. Everyone is predominantly white and American,
Oh,
which I
okay.
didn't like.
Yeah.
And they're both located in smaller cities, so it takes around like 2 hours to get to San Francisco.
To get to the middle of the city where there's actually living things.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because they're located in like smaller cities like Palo Alto or like actual
Yeah.
Berkeley, and so you don't have that kind of the same opportunities and like the vibe of a big city like San Francisco, there,
Yeah.
because you just kind of you're in your campus and that's it. And I was like, I would get so bored here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how we all know, I think all of our watchers know that you have finished Cattell, if that's right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So Cattell is generally very known for its close relationships between the teachers, between the students, and just like there's a very big community.
Yeah.
So what difference have you seen after like going to university where there might be not such close relationships between everyone?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is that we don't actually see them in person.
Yeah.
They're online. We see like this part of them.
Yeah.
But so sometimes Minerva does bring its like the professors to San Francisco or to whatever cities that they want to. So I've met some of my professors in person, but most of the time we don't actually see them. However, we have office hours, and after class we can also stay and talk to them. And honestly, the professors are some like just amazing people. I've had a professor who has a nonprofit in Kenya dedicated to teaching and education. Or there are other professors who are doing like research on different like cognitive science. And everyone has their own passions aside from Minerva, because all of them believe in a more innovative education system for the future, you know, to rebuild university and schools to be more efficient and based on like human cognizance.
Yeah.
So they're talking to them by itself is is like it's a must-have. It's a must-do. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. So you mentioned that your professors are like very cool, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they have nonprofits, they have organized. That's
like,
very
One
fun.
of my professors, she like also the professors are like most of the time they're kind. I mean, everyone's different.
Yeah.
But I've had like a professor. She's in Abu Dhabi right now, and she was like, guys, if you're in UAE, please come. Like we'll get some coffee, like some dinner. They're very open to their students and they want to meet them in person. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. That's very cool. Because, like, you know, especially when it's online, usually people, like, don't have this type of relationships. Because, like, if we all remember the quarantine time, I don't think we really had this type of interactions with the teachers. They were like, come to us, let's go, like, let's have dinner. So, yeah, it's very fun. And so you mentioned that generally the community is there, even though you might not have that campus. So does, like, generally the university try to support your mental health? Like, especially in the exam seasons, maybe, you know?
Yes. So basically, we have something called CAPS, which is Counseling and Psychological Services, and it's so first of all, it's like free. You know, therapists in the U.S. they cost a lot, and second of all, so basically they're like therapists. You know, you can book a call, you can email them, and be like, oh, this is troubling me. I want to schedule a call with.
And it's free.
And it's free. Yeah. It's from Minerva students. And the good thing about it is also that the therapists, the psychologists, they already know what Minerva is like, the workload, how much we have to study, and how many things we have to juggle at the same time. And so it's like it's a lot more efficient. You know, you don't have to explain. Oh yeah, I study here, and like there's these things. They already know that. So you just kind of talk about your problems with them or whatever that's troubling you. And I have had one call with one of the therapists. He was based in India. In Hyderabad, and it was, even though it was online, it still felt amazing, because it's like I think at Minerva everyone knows how to engage online.
Yeah,
you know, like
they're used to it.
They're used to it. Yeah, they're taught to do so, and so it was like it wasn't dry, and it was very heartwarming. You know.
Yeah. So I think like what everyone is very like questioning about is like, were you homesick? Did you want to come back, or was it like, oh, I'm gonna stay here forever? I don't care.
One thing is that. Okay, this might sound bad. I'm sorry, guys. I love my country, but staying in Kazakhstan was never an option in my head. It was like, for me, it's like, I'd rather take a gap year than stay in Kazakhstan, you know?
Okay.
I wanted to get a better education system.
Yeah, of course.
And I wanted to be surrounded by non-Kazakh people with a different mindset. Yeah. And so did I get home? No, I actually, to be honest, I did not get homesick at all, because I lived in the dormitory for like around 2 years. And then my mom moved away, my sister moved away for university.
Oh, okay.
And so I was living with my relatives, and it was like, I was already used to not having such close family nearby. So when I came there, I was used to it, you know?
Yeah.
I was used to doing all of the adulty, independent things by myself.
Yeah.
It's not like I struggled with that. And there were times when so there was this one period in the second semester where it was like assignment season. We had around like 3 assignments in 1 week, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Because one assignment takes you like 1 or 2 days to finish.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was kind of like on autopilot mode. It was a routine. I would wake up, go to WeWork, it's a co-working space, go to the gym, you know, weightlifting, and then go back to WeWork, and then at 11 p.m. I'd come back home. And it was a constant, like a triangular routine. And after, like, on Sunday evening, I was like reflecting, and I was thinking, oh my God.
Like you want change, you
I
mean
want
that?
change. I'm on autopilot mode. For some people, that can work fine. But for me, I was not used to this kind of routine, and it was frankly boring for me to do so. And then after that, I was like, there has to be a change. There has to be more interesting things happening in my life than just like this sort of triangular.
Yeah, what about like, could you tell us like a story from your first year, since you just finished it, that like changed maybe your perspective on the world, your worldview, and like influenced you maybe in some way?
I don't think there's one story. I think it's all very cumulative.
Okay.
Basically, like right now, so I have two of my closest friends at Minerva. One of
Okay.
them is from Hong Kong, and one of them is from UK/Japan.
Oh, that's so fun.
And every almost every evening, we'd gather and talk about and debrief our day
Yeah.
together. And then we'd kind of, it would just always go from a more superficial level to something deeper. And we talk about like, what are your traumas? Or, you know, like,
Well, yeah, of
how
course,
do you
that's what
feel
friends
about
do,
that? How do you feel about that? And it was so refreshing because like, it wasn't something forced.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I think them also coming from different backgrounds, like, yes, they're Asian, but also it's a different, like, it's East Asian, you know? And so we just discuss a lot of things. And I think them kind of, like, our conversations, they made me realize and gain insight on a lot of things, like reality, like what actually is reality,
Yeah.
perspective, what actually is it, you know, those kind of things that kind of made me change my outlook, not just on Minerva, but on generally in life, you know. And I'm really grateful for my friends. And I also have another friend from China, and he was kind of like a mentor to me. And we'd also like, every now and then we'd like go somewhere, like just talk, and it would always be such deep and meaningful conversation from which I got a lot of insights and lessons.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's
Like-
so fun. Yeah. So you mentioned that you have a lot of international friends, like
Yes.
especially your close ones. They're from Hong Kong. You said China,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's very fun. But how was it for you to like try to fit into like an international community, because everyone's from like everywhere out there? So was it hard?
Honestly, I don't think it was hard because I'm Minerva. So basically, like the type of students that Minerva attracts, I think it's not too specific, but there's generally a vibe there, you know, like some sort of vibe
Yeah.
of a student. And one thing about Minervans is that they're pretty open to new communications, to networking. They're open-minded. They want diversity and they want something innovative and new. And so there was never kind of like this barrier, oh, you're from, I don't know, Libya, I won't
Yeah.
talk to you, you know? It was just like, you're a person, you're a Minervan, I'm your friend, you know? It was
you
pretty
mean, like-
easy to communicate.
Yeah, the community is very healthy, you mean, right? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in a lot of universities, I know that the community is not healthy. Like some people actually talk to people from their country only. So they're like, well, it's also maybe like they don't try to fit in, you know, they don't try to
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, that definitely happens at
diverse.
Minerva too, especially when there's a lot of people from the same country. They kind of just tend to stick together because it's, you know, comfortable and safe for them. But we have around like 52 different countries in our 150 student cohort. And so because everyone is from a different country, you're not like, oh, you're from China, I'll talk to you. Yeah, you start up conversations from
Yeah.
nowhere, and then there was like a burgeoning friendship there.
Yeah. Okay, that's very fun. So I think people watching know that you recently started like
Oh.
being very active on the social media. So what like moved you to be so active, like to start blogging and stuff?
Well, I think it was like, I actually wanted to start this back when I just got to San Francisco, because I was
Okay.
like, oh, this would make for such interesting content. My 15-year-old self would definitely watch that. And then I think there was a lot of fear behind it. Like, I didn't start until the end of April because of fear.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I was like,
Oh, fear of what though?
I think fear of like being so open in public and like in on Instagram and being judged and stuff like that. And then afterwards, towards the end of April, I was honestly like, my mindset had completely shifted, and I was quite a different person than who I was in September, you know?
Yeah.
Because of all the experiences that Minerva brought to me. And so
You were like, I'm not embarrassed of anything anymore.
yeah, I think I just like became more open to
Okay,
different
yeah.
things, you know? And so in April, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. And plus, so back in high school, I used to play guitar and dance. In August, I sold my guitar because I was
Okay.
coming to Minerva. And then like I kind of danced a lot less than I did back in high school. And so I was missing that kind of creativity
Yeah.
to create something. And I think like a part of why I started content was just to like for there to be an outlet for my creativity somewhere. And so I started like making content, and I didn't want to start vlogging because I was like, who's gonna want to watch my life?
No, but genuinely, Minerva is very famous. Generally, like nowadays,
oh.
I've known so many people that were like, I want to get into Minerva.
Oh, damn,
Because
damn,
yeah,
that's
it's very.
good.
Because I would also would love to get in. Because like you spend every year somewhere else, which is very fun. Genuinely.
yeah.
So I think that'd be very fun though. No matter what people are gonna say. Because
No, like No, because the thing is, like, I was finishing my freshman year. It was like I posted that vlog on
Yeah.
my last 3 days in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, damn, I have to do something during the summer, you know? Like, I have to post some kind of content. And I was like, wait, actually, I want to post things that I learned during my year at Minerva for people to see, because, like, it provides value, but also I feel like my younger self would also really
love
benefit from that. So I was like, seems like a good idea.
So you started shooting kind of motivational videos, if I'm not wrong.
But I don't know if are they perceived as motivational though?
Well, I mean, that means that people are motivated by it, which is very fun, I think.
I don't know. I feel like I have a weird relationship with motivational videos, because when I think of motivational videos, it's like there's this like American dude talking to the microphone like, you have to start grinding, blah blah blah.
Like
and
work hard.
work hard. But I kind of wanted to make motivational videos in a cinematic way.
Yeah.
And kind of just make it, like, not make it overwhelming for the viewer, but also when they put down their phone, they're like, damn, I learned something, or I gained some kind of insight, and so that they would leave the video with some kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to deliver a feeling.
Yeah, so I guess your motivational videos, or generally videos, are really liked by people because your followers are growing every day. So how do you feel about this? Are you like, is your like younger self very excited about that?
Okay, so basically when I started content, my goal was not to gain a following, to be honest. It was more to just try it out.
Yeah,
to try out content.
for yourself,
like, because also, we had an assignment, funny story, we had an assignment for multimodal communications to make a persuasive video about something, and I made a short film. And my friend, who has like a camera and a lot of things to do with photography, he helped me out with that. And I was editing it for like 12 hours, and it turned out really well, and people liked it. And they were like, wow, you're so skilled at filmmaking and videography. And I was like, am I? And I know, like, oh, like, maybe this means that I have the skill set to start content creation as well.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'll just try it out. Maybe short form content. I don't know. Maybe I'll go on to make like longer form stuff. And I think at some point, like after like around 2 months, I kept seeing videos of like watch me gain 10K followers in 30 days. Watch me. It was like a lot of videos based on numerical outcomes, because like in Instagram, everyone's focused on numerical outcomes. You know, like, oh, I'm gonna make like a 5-second video, and it's gonna gain a bunch of likes. You know, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was like, oh wait, should I be doing the same thing as well? Should I be like striving for more followers and more likes? And
but that's not the point though, right?
Exactly, it's not the point. And then like at some point, no, because after that I was like, oh my god, what do I do to start making, to start having more followers? And I kind of experimented with like 10-second videos, because before my videos were like 50 seconds. I did not like those. I liked talking to the camera and editing and just delivering more impact in a video than I did the short form content. And so I think right now, I've thankfully stopped caring less about my following and how many likes each video gets, because the most important thing is that it helps at least one person. And I get a lot of DMs and like comments saying, oh my god, this video helped me, like you just described my situation so well, thank you for that. And if I helped at least one person, then it's worth it for me, you know?
Yeah.
And if I inspired or gave someone a new outlook, then it's worth it. Not necessarily if I gained a bunch of like new followers from that.
Yeah, that's a very nice perspective, because nowadays a lot of bloggers are like only on the followers and on the likes, which is wrong. Because like generally the main point is to help people in some type of way, not even like just by talking, could be by like doing something. And like giving them the nice feelings or whatever. So Aruzhan, well, it's actually not the last question that I have. So by being a student at such a diverse, such a unique university, what advice would you give just generally to the students that are like applying? They might be applying next year, they're already like leaving abroad, you know, and they're very like scared, because it's fear, of course, of like leaving your like all life behind here. So
I think, I mean, for the people who are applying, start early and try to make it everything systematic, you know? Like, make everything structured and have everything written down, because it's going to help you a lot. There are a lot of universities that kind of demand the same supplemental essays with the same topic. So instead of, you know, just write down everything, match things. And I think also work smarter, not harder. And this is a lesson I learned this year as well, because so basically in the first semester, I worked harder. I studied for such a big amount of time. And I kind of didn't explore San Francisco that much.
Oh.
And then in the second semester, I was like, wait, I think like the point of Minerva is to, of course, learn, but also experience the cities in which we're in. And so I was like, okay, in the second semester, I'm gonna go out more. I'm gonna not like stop studying. I'm gonna study, but I'm going to kind of balance it out, like study in a small cafe and then go hang out in the city. And because of that, I don't know if you could call it like work smarter, not harder. Maybe my priorities just changed.
No, but it's actually smarter because like, of course, a lot of times when you could just like study for 2 hours, but like study like sit down and actually study rather than studying for 8 hours, for example, of course it'd be much smarter.
Exactly, yeah. And like, so I'm whenever we also get a lot of readings, and I'm not saying don't do the readings, but try to like use something to summarize the 20 pages, you know. And so this goes for also applicants. Work smarter, not harder. I don't know, like we have so many online resources right now.
Yeah,
that's true. We have ChatGPT, we have AI, we have a lot of free resources. Utilize those to your best advantage. You know, obviously courses are good, but also the internet is abundant. You know? ChatGPT can do so many things. I'm not saying
but don't write essays with ChatGPT.
I am not saying it's ethical to write essays with ChatGPT, but you know, try to like streamline your process using ChatGPT. Make it more efficient. Yeah, I think one of those, and also I think, I think one of the key things that I would have told my like August, September self. I think I had imposter syndrome, and actually a lot of Minervans suffer from this. When they get to Minerva in September, they have imposter syndrome because they're thinking, oh my God, everyone here is better than me. Why am I even here? I'm not worthy of this. Truth is, everyone feels that way. And you are selected into this university for a reason. You've come so far, and like you have so many experiences. Do you really think you're not worthy of it?
Not good enough?
Yeah, you're not, like, dude. Let's rewind a bit. Let's like rewind. You are worthy. You've done so many things, and just because someone has more experience in a field doesn't necessarily mean that it's like that hinders your position. It doesn't. You can learn so much more from them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I also felt, because I'm the youngest in my cohort.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because I went to school when I was 5.
Wait, how old are you?
Right now, 17.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Guys, I forgot to ask that at the very beginning. Okay.
Yeah, so I went to school when I was 5.
Okay, oh my God.
And then I finished Katel, which is like only 11
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
So I finished school when I was 16, and then when I came to San Francisco, I was still 16. And I felt inferior to people because of my age.
This is very brave of you to like at 16 years old already visiting the university. Oh my God.
Actually, to be honest, I wanted to take a gap year because I was because there was doubt inside of me, because I was like, how am I gonna do this? A 16-year-old kid.
Like at 16,
And then my mom was like, well, you've been accepted. Why not go? And I was like, you're right. And so I went there. And I did feel inferior to people who were like 22 because they had so much experience in business and in computer science, and they've done so many projects. And then I kept like berating myself internally. I was like, why didn't I do this before? But like, bro, I got this far. We're on the same stage in life. I'm not inferior to them. I'm just on my own path, and I'm going to do so many more things in the future, you know?
Yes.
So kind of like that comparison of my accomplishments and everyone else's experience, it doesn't matter, and it's like frankly it's useless because it's not going to do anything for you. If you want to learn from the person, go and learn from the person who has more experience instead of like comparing yourself to them.
Yes, so like everyone is unique in their own ways. Everyone knows something, and someone might not know that.
You can never, like there's a saying, like you can never be late when you're on your own path.
You're so right about
Yes, because like obviously someone can do things when they're 20. Someone can do the same thing when they're 30. Doesn't like they just had different paths, and they learned different things on their ways there. You know, like how they say it's about the journey, not the destination. But like generally, that saying is somewhat accurate.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Aruzhan, for being here today with us.
Thank you so much.
I believe that y'all have got so many different advices from her. Like, I know the point now why she has been making so many different videos out there. So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching our first episode. Follow, like, and see you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Samira.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you.